Our hero Jiro wins money from his gambling sessions and uses his earnings to buy a happy meal for Kumi and MYA. Later, a bunny girl, Romana, shows up and Kumi strikes a friendship with her. Romana challenges Jiro to some gambling games and beats him with ease till he has no money left to risk. Romana asks for Kumi instead, but Jiro offers his overpowered spear instead. That's when Romana reveals that she actually thought of Jiro as a slave trader and was simply trying to save Kumi from him. Jiro asks for his spear back, but Romana says she won it fair and square. The village folk need to evacuate the area because it's flooding from the rain. Things take a turn for the worst when Deagle and Melon spot a dragon eel emerging from the tsunami waves. Deagle attacks the dragon eel with all his might, but it's too strong for him. Melon takes Deagle to the others and Romana heals him, but Jiro realizes that he needs to stop the dragon eel. Our hero heads out for battle with his spear, but Romana asks Kumi to stay back. Jiro uses Maya's ship to catch the dragon eel, but it gets triggered and transforms into a demon eel. Meanwhile, Romana tells Kumi that paladins fight recklessly and abuse their clerics. However, Deagle acts like he's poisoned and sends Kumi to help Jiro. The angel girl rushes to her master and combines with him to become the ultimate warrior. Jiro quickly finishes off the dragon eel, but his core is too strong for Kumi, so she is weakened. Romana tends to her and eventually convinces Jiro to bring her along on his journey, otherwise, she won't return his spear. Our hero agrees to her demands and even brings Melon along, but reveals that he never had any intention of giving up his spear. Now, we see a couple of guards checking out a lab filled with clerics. One of them is creeped out by the whole thing but is told by his commander to chill out because they are well paid. Now, we see Romana showing love to Kumi while also making fun of Jiro. The team runs into Grandpa Zen, whom Melon knows very well. They are told by Zen to go to the mountaineer village so they get to work. However, Jiro doesn't want to show himself because he has history with the mountaineers. MYA makes a hilarious introduction but reveals that Jiro is also with the team, so they are given a grand welcome by the leader Babin, who calls Jiro a thunderbolt. Meanwhile, we see Tsurugi in the middle of a political meeting with King Balka. Jiro participates in a display of strength against the mountaineers and is unbeatable, but then Babin decides to take matters into his own hands. He fights with Jiro for a bit and comes out on top with ease. Later, the team sits down for a meal to celebrate Jiro's strength, but Babin makes things weird by asking the overpowered warrior to plant his seed into his petite women. Suddenly, an insect beast shows up and Melon tries fighting it, but the beast is too strong for him. This prompts both Jiro and Babin to transform and engage in a fierce battle with the insect beast. After a tense encounter, our heroes come out victorious. Then, we see a clone of Kumi who inspects the insect beast along with her master. They are attacked by Zen, who wants to know their evil plan. The villains are revealed to be working for Mizami, so Zen fights the master with a raging passion. He starts to struggle, but uses a mountain to create a distraction and vanish. After that, we see Melon checking up on Jiro, who is training in the night. Our hero gives his students some tips on fighting, and then it's time for a heavy meal. As they enjoy their food, the group talks about the giant beast showing up and causing problems for everyone. Kumi worries that she is responsible for this because her black mist might be attracting them. Jiro thinks there's some merit in this, but tells her not to worry about anything because he is there to keep her safe. Now, the team comes across an invasion of insect beasts, and Melon shows off his new skills. However, he needs help, so Babin and his men show up to the party. Jiro and Kumi move forward and come across the clone girl and her master. Jiro immediately identifies him as his friend Facade, but is met with cluelessness. Facade attacks Jiro, so he merges with Kumi and takes him on. An intense battle follows, and Babin notices this, so he rushes to the scene. Jiro is able to dominate Facade, but then the clone girl shows up and Kumi gets scared upon seeing her. She comes out of Jiro's body and tries to reason with the clone girl but is simply told to die. The clone girl gets ready for an overpowered explosion, but then Babin arrives to stop her. MYA and the others take Jiro and Kumi away in the Meow ship, and Babin confronts Facade with his army. We see some elders practicing a ritual, after which Facade is shown to have defeated Babin and his army with ease. Meanwhile, Melon and the others try to cheer up Kumi after her experience with the clone girl. Later in the stormy night, Kumi thinks back to her chat with the clone and worries about what's going on in the lab. Even Jiro is worried for Facade, but then the Meow ship is struck by lightning and the team crashes into a forest. Meanwhile, Tsurugi gets a report from Zen, so she tells her cleric Chart to make some preparations. Jiro and the others get to work on the Meow ship and finally fix it up. The team moves towards Jiro's old village, but our hero is still upset. The others think that he's having girl problems, but he tells them to shut up. Now, the team meets the leader of the village, named Goza. He greets everyone and serves them food, after which he reveals to them that Jiro was previously bonded with his daughter Toka, who was a cleric. Jiro goes to visit Toka's grave, and then Goza takes us to a flashback. We see Gyro in the middle of a battle with a beast, but he struggles against it. Luckily, Toka arrives and helps him win. The both of them have a word with each other and become friends, after which we're back to the present. Kyumi wishes to pay respects to Toka, and then we see Tsurugi, who is being told by an evil sage about Gyro and Kyumi. Now, Gyro takes us to another flashback where he and Toka finally fell in love with each other and became a couple. In the middle of their endless journeys, they came across Tsurugi and Facade, who became their friends. They would fight together, but one day they came across god beasts who could talk. Things got tough for everyone, but then Toka sacrificed herself to save her lover boy. The team gets more clarity on why Gyro is the way he is, and then he asks Kyumi what she wants him to do about the lab. The angel girl also strikes a friendship with Toka's wolf, but then the village comes under attack by Facade and the clone girl. Our heroes go to confront them, but the clone keeps calling Kyumi a failed product. The angel girl doesn't want to play things out this way and promises to save her clone. Another flashback shows us how Kyumi clones were being created as tools to take over the world. These clones would be brainwashed into carrying out evil plans, but they were too hard to stabilize. Lord Balka and his commanders started to get impatient, so Mizami ended up reviving Facade's dead body as the brainwashed warrior he is today. Now, we see Kyumi being brought to life, but she did not show the same emotions as the other clones. Since she could feel fear, her powers were amplified, and it showed in the way she defeated the other clones. It turns out that one of Mizami's assistants tried to save Kyumi, but she was apprehended by Mizami and the assistant was killed in front of her eyes. This was the moment that inspired Kyumi to escape the lab in the first place. Back to the present, Gyro and Kyumi merge and attack Facade, but our hero holds back because he doesn't want to hurt his friend. Kyumi is also able to smell a giant beast inside Facade, and it makes Gyro curious. Meanwhile, Balka talks to the evil sage about Kyumi and Gyro because he wants to take them down. Back to the battle, Kyumi tells Gyro that she needs to distract her clone, otherwise she will cause harm to the village. Gyro is hesitant but allows Kyumi to lead her clone away with the wolf. As our hero battles Facade, Kyumi appeals to her clone and shows her love, which shocks her. Gyro puts up a fight against Facade, and even Zen joins in to defeat him. As the clone finally sees the brighter side of life, her inbuilt mechanism hinders her and a message from Mizami causes her to explode. Kyumi tries her best to stop her clone and tells the others to escape. A giant explosion follows, which allows Facade to escape, and then the clone dies in Kyumi's arms after telling her to continue living because they are different. This makes the angel girl emotional, and she wakes up next to Gyro, who was caring for her. Meanwhile, Goza finds something odd and gathers his villagers. Romana helps Kyumi with some medicine while Gyro finally gets sleep. She thinks back to a memory from 3 years ago when she was helping soldiers in the war. We get to see how some paladins would mistreat their clerics by using them as weapons. This was what made Romana hate paladins in the first place. Back to the present, we see Kyumi waking up to the wolf licking her hand, and she thanks Gyro for everything he's done. It's time to let the others know the truth, so Kyumi explains how the clones are being made to willingly explode so that they can destroy entire cities within a moment. Kyumi is upset over losing the clone girl, but Gyro tells her that he will rescue all the other clones in the lab. However, Goza and the village folk arrive and say that Kyumi cannot leave the village because she is too dangerous. Meanwhile, MYA has a conference with the other pet girls, and we learn that she has switched places with the dog version of herself. Our heroes try to make an escape from their cell but are stopped by Goza. He is about to start a fight with them, but then Zen shows up and threatens to end everyone because he wants to keep Mizami's clone plan a secret. Kyumi panics and emits her black mist, so Zen charges at her. However, Romana talks some sense into him and explains that MYA has already left and will spill the beans if he tries anything suspicious. Now that everyone is on the same page, Kyumi calms down, and our heroes sit down to plan their next move. The wolf is sent to deliver messages to Babin and the others, while Romana takes the lead on the plan. Things start to fall in place as the good guys come together, and even Tsurugi goes to meet a holy man who is the heavenly reacher. Now, the team sets out for the lab, and Gyro tells Kyumi that he would like to call her a blooming flower. This pleases her dearly, and she hugs Gyro out of joy. Meanwhile, Belka plots something evil with his commanders and sends out an army of paladins. Our heroes reach the lab area and decide to carry out a direct attack. The guards are busy passing the time, but then they spot Gyro approaching in his ultimate hero form. This is exciting for Mizami, so he prepares his clone army with rage pills, but Facade wants to be the one who takes down the ultimate warrior. Gyro defeats the guards with ease and allows some cowards to escape, after which he confronts Facade and engages in a fierce fight. Despite this, our hero focuses on refreshing his friend's memory. The Facade is able to use his beast powers to create super speed, but Kyumi helps Gyro spot where he's coming from. This allows Gyro to attack Facade and break the gem that blocked his memories. This triggers Facade to go confront Mizami, but he gets knocked out because the evil prince also seems to have used an experiment on himself. He tells his slaves to get rid of Facade, and then we see our heroes passing through a secret entrance. Gyro knocks out a clone and MYA subdues her, after which the team turns into an entire army of clone girls. They are all ready to explode, but then a mysterious force causes all of them to pass out. Gyro and Kumi move forward and come across a god beast, after which Mizami shows himself. He is told to give up, but then the evil prince shows off his demon form. Meanwhile, we see Facade waking up and getting ready to challenge Mizami. The evil prince transforms into a semi-god beast himself and kicks off a deadly sequence. Gyro merges with Kumi and fights Mizami, but he is too strong for them. He even pulls Kumi out of Gyro and orders her to join him. However, Kumi activates her hidden powers and possesses the giant god beast, who immediately swallows Mizami like he's a toffee. Gyro saves Kumi and carries her out of the lab, after which the team is united with Tsurugi and the Heaven Reacher. Kumi suddenly faints and Tsurugi realizes that she is nearing her end. Gyro can't believe this because Kumi is still a kid, but he is told that Mizami made her as a weapon, so she barely has a few months left to live. Gyro continues to train, and Kumi has a word with him about her nearing death. Our hero doesn't want to have this chat, but Kumi is still thankful to him for allowing her to live a happy life. The team makes it to the Heaven Reacher's village, and then Kumi's Ring of Promise is analyzed. After realizing that the ring is real, Tsurugi wonders what evil plans Balka has in store for her. Gyro decides to take Kumi out for a day of fun, but he still worries about her limited time to live. The angel girl faints from weakness once again, so Gyro tends to her immediately. After she feels better, Kumi meets Romana and they go on a tour with the Heaven Reacher. Kumi is overwhelmed by everything she sees, and then she is prepared for a ceremony where her curse shall be removed, hopefully allowing her to live longer. A glamorous ceremony follows, and then the Heaven Reacher invites Kumi to bless herself by touching a holy sphere. Unfortunately, dragon snakes attack the area in a deadly fashion. Gyro goes to fight the dragons, but Kumi also follows him because she doesn't care about living longer if it means losing her substitute father. In the middle of this, MYA merges with the other pet forms. Gyro struggles against a dragon snake and he gets upset when Kumi comes to help. They have a brief argument, but then the dragon snake attacks them. Suddenly, Facade shows up and ends the dragon snake, but seems to have gone mad over what Mizami did to him. Seeing this, Gyro and Kumi merge once more for the final battle. The Mountaineers fight the dragon snakes with all their might, and we also see Melon having a brief chat with Lady Kumi. Tsurugi and the Heaven Reacher check the war zones and find a god beast that's unleashing the dragon snakes. They ask Gyro for help, but he's busy fighting Mizami, who wants his memories back. A dragon snake attacks Facade, so Gyro defeats it, but the distraction allows Facade to knock down our hero. Kumi separates from Gyro, but then Zen arrives to fight Facade. Lady Kumi shows up to have a chat with Kumi and she gives our hero some berries for recovery. That's when she reveals herself to be a cleric and uses an energy ball to take down a dragon snake. She tells Gyro to go after the god beast, but faints after that. As the war wages on, Romana heals all the injured victims. Zen battles Facade viciously, but gets slashed in the process. He quickly stabs Facade with his sword and pushes him away, but collapses after that. Meanwhile, Tsurugi gives Melon the Ring of Promise and tells him to hand it over to Kumi. Dragon snakes continue to attack, so Tsurugi transforms into her ultimate warrior form and takes them down. Gyro and Kumi continue their fight against the dragon snakes, but then the god beast arrives. Kumi is tired, so Gyro only has one shot at its weak spot. Our hero lands a bullseye, but the god beast awakens multiple demon eyes and smacks him away. That's when MYA and Melon come to the rescue in the Meow ship. MYA takes our heroes to an alternate dimension and finally shows her human form. She then gives Kumi the Ring of Promise and tells her to awaken its powers. The tables quickly turn as Gyro reverse merges with Kumi and makes her an angel goddess with the power of the ring. With this new power, Kumi is able to defeat all the dragon snakes, and she even destroys the god beast with her holy powers. Now, everyone is saved from the war, but a monolith appears, meaning there will be a sequel. Want me to cover more shows? Like, share, and subscribe to check out all my latest videos.